if you really want to spend some time enjoying yourself, try going through all of the permutations of what is happening regarding politics, the legal aspects, the political legal aspects, and all of these folks that are part and parcel of this thing that we're living in right now. We had a wonderful kind of a RNC hoedown. It was very nice, very interesting. I liked it. It was very interesting, very, very fascinating in many respects. And what I noticed was that I hate to say this, but I kept thinking, well, this wasn't talked about, and this wasn't talked about, and this wasn't talked about. Then I realized, what am I talking about? Nobody, America doesn't want to hear what we are talking about. America doesn't want to hear this. This is far too, I don't know what the word is, a little bit too highfalutin. And I don't want to make it, I don't want to give too much weight to this. But let me explain to you. We, I believe, are different birds, so to speak. And we don't necessarily react to, as our friend Sandy from Ireland says, we don't react as to what's going on. It's so funny, Sandy, our dear friend. I am a fan, if you will, of the Troubles. Not a fan, it was a terrible thing, but I mean by studying it and what it represents and juxtaposing it with what's going on in Israel and Palestine and that sort of thing. And I realize that whenever you ever talk about an event, it's always wonderful to look back and to say, well, let's look at this as an example. And I look at your great country as a perfect exemplar of how to look at it. That was a civil war. It wasn't really religion, though we heard Protestants and Catholics. It was far more difficult. I don't want to go off into that tangent, but anyway, welcome and thank you for that. We live in a world, my friends, where we must recognize one thing. We're from another planet. And the stuff that we are concerned with is, well, frankly, I don't think anybody's necessarily on the same page. Social media have collectively changed the course of everything. And I mean everything there is. And the reason why is very simple. Social media changed the way this works by virtue of the fact that it allows people the chance to take an event and to form a scrum, kind of like an ideological political scrum, and move en masse, move towards it, and then comment on a lot of things. We're talking about, obviously, an event that took place that was horrific. The attempted dispatch of a president, a prior president, and of certainly the presumptive, well, the absolute candidate. And people are asking themselves, well, what does this mean? What should have been done? But we're not going to get anywhere with that. And you're going to hear a lot of talk about it, and you're going to hear a lot of suspicion about it. But what people are not talking about, and by the way, I'm not going to jump into this now because sometimes everybody loves to say, I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to clarify this. But let me give you an idea of what scares me that I would have made sure. And the reason why nobody could have mentioned it at the time is because if you were to mention this would have violated a complete and total connection that the Trump administration has with, big tech and venture capitalism, that sort of thing. But one thing that scares me is where AI is going. And when I try to tell people about that, they have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. And they don't even, I swear to God, they don't. It is so incredible. They do not know where this is coming from. They don't even know what to call. They don't even know what it is. They think it's about robots or something. Maybe, I guess. They think it's about that. I don't know. And so I'm saying to myself, I'm saying to them, do you have any idea, dear friends? Do you have any idea of how incredibly frightening the specter of this is? Any idea? And they'll look at you and they'll say, no, I don't. And if you ask people, I want you fine people to this week, ask yourself the question, do you or any of your friends truly understand what it means? What does it convey? What does it connote? What does it represent? Do you feel conversant with it? No. Do Americans feel? No. What if President Trump had said, and we've got to get to the bottom to make sure that AI and AGI do not ever exceed that which is tolerated or permissible or that which in any way impinges upon and they'll look at you like, what are you talking about? Why? Because, and this is no offense, they had on Hulk Hogan. Isn't that wonderful? I guess this is what, the 90s or the 80s, or I don't know what it is. A tremendous entertainer. There's no doubt about that. But what was that about? I don't know. And then there was J.D. Vance. Good man. And let me just go on the record and make sure you know where I am in case you're new to this. I'm going to give you this. It's important to know the reference point of this. I'm going to vote, obviously, for President Trump 100% for reasons I have given. And I'm telling you, there is nothing you can do. There is absolutely. And now after today, I don't know what they're going to do with President Biden. They're going to remove him. I don't know if they're going to try to stick Kamala Harris into it. I have no earthly idea. None. I have no earthly idea of what they are going to do. None. But I'm telling you right now, after this weekend, it appears that it is over for him. And how this happened, I will never understand for as long as I live. But that's neither here nor there. And I love, by the way, it is. I mean, I love the way it is phrased. Don't you? I love the way it's phrased. I love the way they say, well, he's been a bad debate performance. He's being left, not because of anything, but because he had a, I sound like Floyd the barber. Oh, Andy, he's a nice boy. No. He's not leaving because of any cognitive impairment. He's leaving because of a bad debate. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And we didn't know anything about it until June 27th. We knew nothing about it. Did you know that? We knew nothing. We knew nothing about it. Isn't that something? Wow, that's the weirdest thing in the world. It is, isn't it? It's weird. We knew absolutely nothing about it. One of the damnedest things I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely incredible. Incredible. We had no earthly idea. None. Even though many of us have been saying, wait a minute, what's the matter with him? And this goes into the whole 25th Amendment story, which is a wonderful, wonderful aspect of it. Who follows in the event of resignation. But we're going to start off right now. And the first question is there a legal duty? Is there a legal duty that the government owes you and the citizens to not lie as to the mental condition and wherewithal of an individual in office? Do you think there is should there be, let me ask you this, should there be a law that makes it a federal offense to openly and notoriously, this is to use adverse possession language, but to use, to deliberately and absolutely use lies and prevarication and distortion as a means by which you are distorting and hurting and harming the folks in this country? Do you think so? Is there a law that makes anyone, if you are involved in an absolute, deliberate knowing and intentional misrepresentation as to the condition of a president. Is there a law? Well, there probably is not. History has showed us that, well, Woodrow Wilson is probably the best example of this. Woodrow Wilson and his wife, Edith, where he had strokes, he was really bad. I mean, really bad. And she, believe it or not, she not only kept this from you, but was active in the, how do I say this? She was active in the hiding of his condition. Then there's, what about somebody who deliberately has a duty? Is there an active or affirmative duty for the government or somebody to bring to your attention the fact that President Biden is not able to do this? And the answer is, well, if there is, would it be a thing called misprision? MISPRISION, where you have a duty to inform, but you don't. Get into that. I don't believe that's true. I don't believe so. In the case of the 25th Amendment, if President Biden were to step down from the position of the presumptive Democratic nominee, must he step down from the office itself? This is something you have to know. Is that true? What about that? Now, right now, as you know, the president is currently seeking some form of incubation time. He's self-exiling, self-quarantining by virtue of the fact that he suddenly came up with the idea that he's got COVID. Now, a while back, and I don't want to sound like Alan Dershowitz, because Alan Dershowitz, by the way, has predicted everything that ever happens. Alan Dershowitz will say, and as you know, I predicted that. You did? Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, the international cricket match. Yes, I predicted that as well. You did? Oh, yes, I did. You predicted the cricket? Yes, I did. You name it, I predicted because I am a genius. I'm a genius, and okay, fine. So I don't want to do that. But I said for the longest time that I believe then, and things have changed, that it was going to be Gavin Newsom and Gretchen Whitmer. They were going to step down. And I have reason to believe this is not just a hunch. This is from intel I received a long time ago. And that Biden will step down because of a variety of reasons, but Biden will step down. And I said he'll either be aneurysm, kind of he had that before. Remember when Biden had that aneurysm surgery, the brain surgery, it was a much rougher road then. It was far more aggressive, far more invasive, far more serious. And there's an old expression that says, you ain't the same when the air hits your brain. So some people might say, well, it may not be the same fellow today. Who knows? So that could have been a pretext or an excuse. That could have been number one. Number two, it could have been something else where it might have been something to the effect of, he might have had some fall, just some fall that where he needs a hip surgery or something like that. And by the way, interesting note, I don't know if you knew this or not, but from inside the Biden administration, from inside, their biggest fear was him falling down, and it was recommended that he use a walker. And they said, absolutely not. They said, no, you don't understand. Physicians and people said he must have a walker. And they said, we are not going to have the president, candidate, use a walker. I said, but he's going to fall down. So what they did was, remember when he was falling down the steps, they had the steps shortened to that bottom little kiddie steps of Air Force One for whatever reason. Eventually, they were going to use probably one of those slides, those like escape slides. Whee! Does that one. They gave him these special shoes, help him from falling down. They had some other things too, where I believe they had, what was it? They were surrounding him so that if he fell, they could catch him right away. People were looking at Parkinson's. It's a form of Parkinson's dementia. they looked at, and by the way, bradykinesia is the first element. All Parkinsonian patients have bradykinesia, that movement problems, plus others. You may or may not have tremor. You don't need necessarily tremor, though that's a part of it. There's all kinds of things. Lewy body dementia might be another one too, because what he was showing was a combination of things. And by the way, to his credit, he wasn't forgetting new things. He was forgetting old things, or like names of people he doesn't remember. I know. As you know, when you get older, you have a harder time remembering some people's names. Then other times you have the most incredible ability to recall some of the most arcane stuff. Like I enlist the name of the cast of Leave It to Beaver without any problem, but sometimes if I remember something, it's hard. It's a hard story. In any event. So he is going to step down over the weekend, and the question is, what happens then? Well, that is illegal. There is no constitutional provision as to what the DNC believes. All the Constitution says is that we have the election. And by the way, as we speak, let me remind you, dear friends, of something which is very, very interesting. It is 30 days exactly until the Chicago, the Democratic National Convention. And it is, as we speak, very interesting. This is, let me see. Where is this? Oh, yes, the election countdown. It is 108 days until the election. I mean, that's an eye blink. That's an eye blink. But President Trump talked about a lot of things: inflation, China. Vance talked about Iran. Can I do a quick, if I could, a quick review? How many of you fine folks? This is a very unscientific poll. How many of you fine folks today, right now, would recommend, would prefer, and would like war with Iran? Anybody? Barry Taylor, by the way, says even the Pope uses the Pope-mobile. Perhaps a Trump-mobile is in order. Yes, indeed. Or indoors, certainly. Indoors from now on. How many of you, by the way, are looking for a war with Iran? Anybody? Anybody? Raise your hand. Anybody? Anybody? Come on, Norma. Nasun, Norma Lutz. Norma Lutz. Anybody want war with? Come on, Iran's bad. They're bad. They're making some kind of suggestion that it was. They were involved in this particular attempt on the life of the president. Perhaps maybe as some kind of retaliation for the Soleimani dispatch. Anybody? Anybody want to? Anybody? Come on. Anybody would do it? Come on, Iran. Those are bad guys, huh? Those are bad folks. Anybody? How about our dear friends in Ireland? You know something about this. We have right now, the president mentioned nothing about abortion, nothing about Israel, nothing about. Now, let me just say something. And this is very, very critical. I can understand. See, I'm a very odd bird. I'll tell you why. I can see and understand positions clearly to the point where I say, oh, I understand your position. Oh, I understand what you're saying. I understand completely the position of Bibi Netanyahu, the Likud, Israel regarding what's going on. I understand it. Doesn't mean I agree with it. It means I understand it. I also understand the position of Palestinian authorities, West Bank folks, Hamas, Hezbollah, Gaza, Houthis. I understand it. In all of these groups, all of them, if you are in it, you will understand what their position is. Now, if your position is that this group is evil and these people are crazy, I can't help you there. I can't help you there. I can't. But one thing that they're trying to do, which is very interesting, is they're always trying somehow, when I say they, whenever the discussion is somehow Iran is behind everything. And I'm saying, no. No. And using the law of self-defense, using the law of force, using the law of no. There are people, as you know, in our country who have always been hawkish. You call them neocons, you've called them military industrial complex. But no. Do you believe there will ever be any indication of who was involved in this attempt on President Trump's life? Do you believe, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get to some other aspects of the convention, but do you believe that we will ever get to the point of finding out who was involved in this? And by the way, dear friend, let me thank Barry Taylor. Thank you so much for your kindness, kind sir. Do you think we will ever find out? Ever? Did you hear I was forced to watch Fox News because Fox News they were absolutely just going crazy. Oh my God, we own the airwaves. There were 5 million people. 5 million. Yeah, there were 5 million people. We owned it. 5 million. That's it? What are you talking about? 5 million. Isn't that something? See, my friends, what you're doing right now is you do not know the power of what this is and what this represents. You do know this, correct? You are not only watching this, but you are engaging not only with me but with each other. This is just ungodly. You are engaging with me. We're talking. This is new. We've been on 22 minutes. You will never see 22 minutes uninterrupted on any show on TV because they have to have commercials for this. Have you heard this new thing called, was it Lumi or something? These new sprays where you don't have to bathe for your feet, your inguinal area, for your privates, for your armpits. Why are we? Oh yeah, you don't need to bathe. Why don't you want to bathe? Oh, no need to bathe. Anyway, that's a big ad seller for some reason. This is incredible. Do you understand? Let me see if I can explain this. These people don't know what they're talking about. They have no particular expertise. They have no particular interest in this, and they don't have any time to explain. But let me give you a few things. Number one, you were never going to find out one way or another what happened, what was really behind it. Never. Number two, motive. Please explain to me what the motive is. What is the motive? Yes, Gracie loves George. Gracie, you know about this stuff, don't you? If I don't bathe, I go berserk. Berserk. Do you know what Lumi deodorant is? Lumi, Lume. Outrageously effective whole body odor controls for pits, privates, and beyond. Pits, privates, and beyond. It's the biggest thing. You've got it's about this. Let me tell you what this story here. I don't want to. This is a woman who's doing OBGYN. She is there. Her name is Shannon Klingman, and she has a picture of her apparently conducting what appears to be a pelvic examination because you see stirrups and 2 feet, and she's smiling. And then I think one day she said, "Hey, I wish there was some way to maybe do something about it. Maybe a hazmat outfit may have been appropriate." So anyway, so now they're saying this is a big deal. A lot of other people are really big into this. I would go crazy. 2 days would be no. Anyway, aside from that, I don't mean to get off track. I don't mean to veer from a particular strict level of concentration, which I know you demand of me, and I'm so sorry. I beg your forgiveness. Because every now and then I'm elliptical. I dare to wax desultory, and I'm sorry for that. I apologize. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I am sorry for that. But let me continue. There's no interest in explaining over long periods of time what the story is. They were talking before, and I'm so glad I don't have to watch this anymore. Will we find the motive? The FBI is currently scouring the internet to scour. What was his motive? What was his motive? What motive? What role does motive play, ladies and gentlemen? What role? Legally, Motive. Anybody? By the way, don't let me forget. If I don't do it now, I'll do it again. We'll talk about how he never talked about AI or anybody talked about that. But what role is motive? What role is motive? Okay. What motive? Role is motive. Your motive. What is it? They always say this on TV. Motive and opportunity. As a former prosecutor, I don't give a damn what your motive is. I'm going to prove intent. Did you intend to kill him? Yeah. That's it. Did you intend? Yep. Why? I don't know. That's motivation. Why? I don't know. Yeah, but don't you want to know what? No. It may help. For example, especially motive is really important and very, very critical in arson investigations, arson prosecutions. Well, why do you think you tried to burn that down? Because you got $10 million of insurance. Oh, that's a good motive. It sure is. Yeah, I didn't know that one. Yep. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a good one. So many kind of play like this. Here's one for you. Hate crime laws. How many of you great folks, how about hate crimes? Anybody here like hate crimes? Oh, come on. Who loves hate crimes? Raise your hand. Anybody want hate crimes? Do you ever hear of love crimes? No, of course not. Who loves hate crimes? Don't you think we need hate crimes? Come on, drummer. Come on, trash. Come on, Doug. Doug Miller says, "You guys are so funny." This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Faye, anybody care about hate crime? Isn't hate crimes? Drummer says no such thing. That's not what they say. They say it's a whole story. And I'm with you on this one. Hate crime is basically works like this. Hate crime works as follows. They take a crime which is completely and totally cognizable at law, meaning it exists. It's recognizable. It exists at law. Let's say battery, arson, murder, assault, whatever it is. And they take this and then they say, if the motivation behind that was hate for sexual identity, sexual persuasion, gender identity, if that was if they did this motivated by hate, then we will aggravate the crime to maybe something, maybe that's federal, maybe up in terms of aggravating in terms of sentence. For example, let's say from a third-degree felony to a first-degree misdemeanor to a third-degree felony, or category C, or whatever you want to call it, based upon your jurisdiction. Ladies and gentlemen, is it against the law to hate? Do you have a constitutional right to hate? Yes or no? Answer my question. Do you have a constitutional right to hate? Do you have, if somebody walks up to you and says, "Excuse me, yes, are you Alsatian? Yes, I hate you." What? And you pick up the piece. "Hello, yes. Midtown West? Yes. Yes, I would like to report a hate crime. Yes. What happened?" "Well, I was standing in the corner and a man came up to me and correctly identified me as being Alsatian and said he hated me. I'd like to have a man arrested." "Yes. Yes. Am I Alsatian?" "Yes." "As I said, yes, I am Alsatian." "Yes, correct. Yes." "And what do you mean it's not against the law? What do you mean hate's protected?" "I can hate anybody I want. I can hate, I can love, I can dislike, I can be indifferent to. My thought, my feelings regarding you is absolutely irrelevant, so long as I don't do anything to objectify that hate. Once I hit you, bother you, burn something down, hurt you, harm you in any way, physically show a physical manifestation of that, then it's against the law. Not because of my hate, but because of what I did. Now, in the event I were to accompany something which is already cognizable in law with a constitutionally protected version of speech, that means that you are penalizing me. You are penalizing me for daring to utter a constitutionally protected idea. And that is absolutely verboten. Verboten. Now, what happened interesting about this? Interesting, you're going to like this because I know you love this stuff. I know you do. Years ago, there was a case in New York, a Court of Appeals case, in which a person was arrested for robbery, and he targeted gay, I think it was gay men. They assembled in this one particular park or something, and they assembled, and he would wait and then swoop down on them and rob them. And when he was being questioned, they said, "Do you hate?" Oh, excuse me. Did you target these people because they were gay? He said, "Yes, I did." "Oh." And he goes, "Yeah, but not because I hate them." What? No, I didn't. Not, there was no animus there. Well, why'd you do it? I did it. I did it because I thought they wouldn't fight back. I thought they would be easy pickings. I thought, much to his chagrin and disbelief, they fought back most ably. He had made a grave mistake. So the reason for it wasn't a hate crime, it was a target selection. If you were to pick older, elderly people to rob because they were enfeebled, it's not because you hate them, it's because they might be softer targets. You understand that? This is the most important thing in the world. Look at this. Here we go. Russell Saylor says, why was Iran threat against Trump leaked? Don Jr. and Eric have been asked to repeat all the reasons Iran wants Trump dispatched. Then Blinken says Iran is going to have nukes in 1 or 2 weeks. Buckle up. By the by, well, let me wait a second. Let me finish this thought. It's a very good point, by the way. Number one, there was another case. There was a fellow who was involved in a melee, in a fracas by again, famous case, famous cross-examination, true story. And the moral of the story is never ask a witness a word or a question using a word they don't understand. It was an aggravated battery case, a stabbing. Prosecutor says, ma'am, were you stabbed in the fracas? And she says, no, I was stabbed between the belly button and the fracas. Okay, true story. Second case was a man who was involved in a melee, and he was yelling some homophobic epithets. And they said, aha, it's a hate crime. He says, no. He says, he said he was gay himself. That's a word he used. Much like sometimes some folks, some African Americans will use the N word, but certainly not as a racial pejorative, but they will use it for affectation or affection or whatever it is. He did the same thing. So what I'm saying is hate, what motivates you is, and by the way, one more thing. What if I decide that I am enraged because, let's say, an African American family moved into my neighborhood? And I say, I am enraged by this. So I'm going to show them. I'm going to demonstrate this, and I'm going to burn a Christmas tree on their lawn. That'll show them. You say, what? I'm going to burn a Christmas tree. What does that mean? Well, that's my hate crime. Don't you normally burn a cross? I don't know how to build a cross. I don't have any wood, but I've got a Christmas tree, and that will suffice. Yes, but that's not recognizable as a hate crime. Well, in my book, it is. So what happens if I'm a bad hate crime person? What if I were to spray paint the Mogen David, the Star of David, on a synagogue? It's like, that's not the way. So when we get into these weird divisions of this, it's another story. By the way, how many of you fine friends know that the type of nuclear weaponry that was used at or around Hiroshima is not what we have today? Meaning there's no radiation fallout. Are you familiar with that? Yes, Faye, that is a crime. It's called vandalism. That is correct. It's also called criminal mischief. Correct. Even if you wrote, I love this building, that's vandalism. That is trespassorial. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, good. Now, let's do this. Here's my question. You do realize that whenever there's a nuclear weapon, a tactical nuclear weapon that would be used today, it does not have the fissile material. It will not cause that radiation, the fallout and all that you have during the case. It'll just be complete and total annihilation. Now, before I forget, the most important issue in the world, the one thing that keeps me up, the one thing that scares the hell out of me, the one issue that I find is the most frightening of them all. Let me tell you what it is. You ready for this? AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. And don't tell me it's not here. Don't tell me not to worry about it. It is here. And if that happens, you better really, really, really worry. You know what this is? Anybody? Anybody care about this? Anybody care about this? Anybody care? Artificial general intelligence. What is it? Anybody know? That's right, drummer. General. Doug Miller knows. Doug Miller knows. Doug, what is it, Doug? What is it? Tell us what it is. Explain in your own words. Explain, explicate, expatiate the rudiments, the basic, the abecedarian elements of this most frightening thing. What is the difference? What does it mean? Isn't it good? Isn't artificial general intelligence great? Come on. Won't it make the world a better place? Isn't it just? Understand that? Artificial intelligence is one thing. It can do some machine stuff. There's this wonderful idea of what AI is. Artificial general intelligence is a whole other story. AI allows computers and software or whatever to solve tasks with human-like performances. Anybody use ChatGPT? ChatGPT is fantastic. It's wonderful. Artificial general intelligence is AI, but it mimics human cognitive prowess. It uses the ability to reason, to learn, to apply reason. It is human. And you're going to say, well, what is human? Well, what do you think human is? I don't want to get into notions. I know sometimes we debate what's gender and that sort of thing. But if I have something and it's conscious, let's say, for example, I have here a Trump totem. This is my Trump totem. And if all of a sudden this were to talk and speak and reason and recognize you and know things about you and know your name and knew what was going on, could figure out how you felt, it would, aside from freaking you out, it would transcend anything that we've seen heretofore. And if it recognizes itself, if it recognizes its own being, if it is conscious, it is a game changer. And you don't understand how dangerous that is. And nobody's talking about it. And I do not suspect it would be a good idea at the Republican National Committee with a bunch of cheeseheads and people who liked Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock and who else? I don't know who else is there. Hulk Hogan? Dana White? That's good. I mean, no offense. But do you think that crowd would have been able to understand artificial general? What are you going to do about it? What does it even mean? I don't know. Not the place, not the forum, not the venue. No. By the way, how many of you fine people watched the RNC? Did you? How many people? Show of hands. Who saw it? Who saw it? Who saw it? Yes, Trash. It is a sentient creature, and the question is a sentient creature on par with a human, and does it have any jurisdictional protections, as it were? Who saw it? Snarf saw it. Faye did it. You did it. What'd you think? It was good, huh? It's interesting. I know. Amber Rose. I'm with you. Mr. Doug Miller says there's questions about the outage. Do you know, Gracie? Do you know, Jimmy? Do you know what Nitro Mike? Do you know what the outage could have been? I don't want to go there. Do you believe that the coverage was interesting? Here's one question I ask. Where was Barron? Have you heard this one? First of all, it's nobody's business. It doesn't have to be there. But when they were saying, hey, there's this 6'7" kid there, where was Barron? And there are some people who were saying terrible things about that the Trumps have to explain, well, where was he? What? Where was he? What? And at the time it happened, it was so interesting. I heard, I remember we were doing a live piece on Lionel Nation. And I said, where's Barron? And they go, he was there. I saw him. I said, I don't think. No, I saw him. People said this. I saw him. He was in the back. I said, no, he wasn't in the back. Oh, yes, he was. People actually said they saw him there. He wasn't there. Why? Again, it's nobody's business. You don't have to be there. Wasn't that interesting? Yes, Barron can be anywhere he wants to be. Don't you think that's interesting? When you've got kids, grandkids who are there, who are like, I don't know, it was like midnight. They're there. Everybody's there. Poor Tiffany's walking around. Hey, over here. Nobody. Just interesting. It's not critical. Brad Rung, ladies and gentlemen, said, I can't keep it all straight every time I turn around your live. Lionel Legal, I love the live shows, and thanks for sharing your thoughts. Keep it up. Thank you. It's what I do. It's what we do. It's something that which is, I think it's not fabricated. It's me and you, and that's it. Not a lot of production, not a lot of anything, just me and you, not the five, not a bunch of people sitting around pretending to be funny. It's just us, just talking. These are things which are very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, in the meantime, my friends, I'm going to leave you with this important thing. We had the outage of the day. The outage could have been absolutely critical. It could have been paralyzing. It could have been the worst thing that ever happened in this country. And in one day, in some cases, you might find an AGI bot or something who decides, I think I'm going to shut things down. Because remember the 4 characteristics of AGI: recursive self-improvement, basically writing its own code, knowing everything, being able to read and to interpret human behavior, and also to write its own APIs or its own apps. This is the game changer. And one day you might find, and we use the word false flag too much and gaslighting and all these other terms, just like the term literally. If you watch any cop shows where people are arrested, which I love, I like when bad people, like Karen's arrested, they'll say, bruh, literally, I was literally driving here. I literally live around the corner. They always say it. I literally, bruh, or bro, I was literally driving home. I literally just got off work. They think literally means really, or they think it means like actually, or I don't even know why they even say it. I was literally, yeah, I know that. No, I was literally driving. That's not, versus figuratively. Yes, I understand. No, you don't. No, bro. I was literally, I know. Quit saying literally. It's the word people use. We go through these things. We went through like for a while, then that kind of pooped out. Then it was hilarious. You're hilarious. That was hilarious. Thank God. I think we're past that. Literally is the word now. Also, let's unpack. What are some of the terms you hate? Let's unpack. Oh yeah, guy. Hey guys. What? I loathe the guys. I'm not your guy. Hey guys. What? Brad Rung says Evan Gershkovich was convicted Friday of espionage and sentenced to 16 years in a maximum security prison on charges his employer and the U.S. government rejected as fabricated. I do not know what to say about that one other than to review the case and to exhaust any and all appeals. Fascinating case. One would say, again, I'm not that familiar with the case, but I will review it for the next time we speak. Raul Rodriguez says, learning from you is proof of online education. God bless you. Thank God bless you. God bless you. So, literally, bro. Oh, unpack. We're going to unpack this. Can I unpack this? Can we unpack this? Let me unpack the issue. Don't unpack it, bro. Literally, don't literally unpack anything. I'm going to, don't. We're not going to unpack this. Remember, what did Jen Sharp say? We're going to, not full circle. Anyway, I hate when somebody uses a word as a crutch. Awesome. Thank you, Bubba. Awesome. Top of mind. Awesome. Awesome is, another, amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, it sounded like a latte. Amazing. What? That's amazing. You're amazed by this? I ordered a coffee. You're amazed. It's awesome. You are full of awe. You are gobsmacked. You're looking up. You have seen the face. That's hilarious. No, wait. Hilarious? Are you in the midst of hilarity? Histrionics, cachinnation, guffawing. We don't know what we're saying. Just like people who cuss. Cussing and cursing are absolutely incredibly important, very, very vital, necessary, but only if they are used like a spice, never as a substitution for wit. Okay? All right. 45 minutes of my day to you, my friends, has been an honor. Raul Rodriguez, Brad Rung, thank you, and Barry Taylor, on behalf of a grateful nation. Oh, I used to do this, and I still love this. On behalf of a grateful nation, thank you. I don't know why they don't listen to you. They don't thank you very much. Yes, can you tell me where the antihistamines are? Oh, thank you. On behalf of a grateful nation. Thank you, sir. Well, thank you as well. Why is it? Another one, too, is I love to say, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Faye. Thank you. Not for what you do, but for what you appear to do. I think that's funny. Nobody listens to you. But the best line of them all, remember this one. Remember this. This was from the movie Roxanne. Remember Steve Martin and Fred Willard was there. He plays, I think, the mayor. And there was this one line. He says, I would rather be with you people. I would rather be with you people than the finest people in the world. And I mean that sincerely. People will toast and they don't listen. I'd rather be with you than the finest people in the world. So we're not no, you're not. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Not for what I'm doing, but what I'm appearing to do. What am I appearing to do? I don't understand it. Brad Rung says, when is the live next show and what channel? I do not know. It depends upon. That's why you must subscribe to Lionel Legal and you must subscribe to Lionel Nation. So, I try to keep them, to spread. I want to have as many channels as possible to spread the good word, the holy word of truth. And I mean that sincerely. Hello. For those of you who can't afford Lumi, try this. It's called The Real Thing. That's right. Don't worry about using martial arts or buying some type of weapon. Learn how to do this whenever somebody tries to exact some type of physical harm against you. Believe me. And those of you who are involved in this, Aikido and jiu-jitsu, no. Forget you. Just get me down on the mat and let me have at it. Go ahead. Hit me with your best shot. Come on. Do it. Do an one-arm takedown, maybe a rear naked choke. I'll show you a thing or two. It's called controlled flatulence. Don't try it at home, my friends. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much. Not for what you are, but for what you appear to be. And I mean that sincerely. I'll be on tonight at Lionel Nation at 7 p.m. Have a great and a glorious day. Don't ever forget what I'm saying to you. And as we always end our particular events, we always remind you of this valedictory. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. That day.